Morning. What's up? What's up? Happy Wednesday. Here we go. Almost there, y'all. We over the hump. We are almost there. Good morning. Good morning. So it's 7:47. The time is running on me. About to get this day started. What's going on, folks? Sorry for the delay this morning, y'all. Y'all see I'm still in my sanctuary. I'm going to give y'all about a good 10 minutes today. We're going to talk. We're going to get this day started. And then we'll get out the door and get my day started. So, what's up, man? God bless. God bless y'all. Have a good one today. New month, right? It's the first of the month. So, a lot of times you guys recall I talk about setting goals. Whenever we have the beginning of something, it's a new month. It's a great time to set some new goals. So if you guys can kind of get your mindset on your monthly goals, that'd be good. That'd be a really great place to start. So that's just one thing I want to get you guys to focus on. Goal setting for the month. What do you got to get done by February 28th? Go ahead and put it on your calendar now so you can look forward to getting it done. And hold yourself accountable to getting it done. So that's one thing, right, guys? Got a new month. Secondly, when I look up like that, guys, I'm sorry. When I look up, I got a whiteboard right here. And if anybody else is like working on projects or ideas or even maybe just have an overwhelming workload or trying to manage your life, I would suggest getting a whiteboard, like a dry erase board. So I have a dry erase board in my room, and I could just got a lot of good ideas and stuff jotted up there. But I had jotted some stuff on there last night about today's warm up, and you see I haven't moved back into the car yet, and this may be our new location for a while. I might just do them here in the morning. Today is not only the beginning of February; it's also Black History Month. Black History Month. Give it up. And so I didn't know how I wanted to talk about Black History Month with you guys. And I think, I told you guys by the end of the month, I might be Dennis X, but I wanted to start slow. But somebody had, my cousin had messaged me yesterday. He asked me what I was going to do. Good morning, everybody. I see there's people on. Good morning, y'all. The Facebook doesn't let you know who's on when it's on. Y'all should give me a shout out so I can see who I'm talking to. So my cousin was asking me, he said, man, what do you got planned for Black History Month? What are you going to do? What are you going to talk about? And without me even asking him, he said, what I'm going to do is he's going to go out, he's going to buy a book on MLK. What's up, Carl? Carl, share what you're going to do for Black History Month. It's a great idea. And so what that triggered in me was to ask each and every one of you, to ask everybody, what are you going to do for Black History Month? What are you going to do to educate the kids? What are you going to do to enlighten yourself? What's going to be your strategy? And it doesn't have to be, nothing too extravagant, but I did want to throw some ideas out there. And if other people had ways of celebrating Black History Month or had people that they feel as though should be celebrated or incidents or events in history throughout this whole month, guys, make sure you share those in the post in the morning. To say, hey guys, it's the warm up. Let's get ready. Let's get our mind right. And oh, did you know? And I'm counting on everybody to share some stuff. But what I wanted to do was figure out, well, Dennis, what are you going to do? How are you going to talk about Black History Month? And what I'm choosing to do is to simply, I downloaded an app that has some famous quotes from Black History Month, and I'm gonna share some quotes with you guys. And then we can just, we can dive into them a little bit. I'm going to start slow. I'm going to walk slow. I'm going to slow walk into this thing today. One of the quotes I found from this app, and there are some good apps too, guys. So that the History Channel has an app for Black History, and of course they focus on Black History Month this month. But there are some other apps. This one is called Famous Black Quotes. I'm sure there are others out there. If y'all know some good apps, share the apps as well. But, all right. This is interesting. I'm going to use this quote. This quote is from Jermaine Jackson, of all people, right? And you're like, Dennis, why would you have a quote about Jermaine Jackson? But you'll see my point. Well, from Jermaine Jackson, but you'll see my point at the end of the quote. Of course, Jermaine Jackson's quote was about Michael Jackson. But what he said was, he said, Michael applied himself better than I did at school. His thirst for knowledge was far greater than any of the rest of us. He was that curious kid who asked why, and why. And he listened and logged every detail. I'm sure his head had an inbuilt recording chip for data, facts, figures, lyrics, and dance moves. You know why I think that's such a great quote? Because a lot of what I talk about with you guys is pushing you guys to be the best you, the greatest you that you can be. And what I'm telling you is that other people will recognize your greatness. This quote is about Michael Jackson, but it's from his brother. And, you know, he was able to admit, and just, you know, being raised alongside of his brother, that he applied himself better. Now, just internalize that and be self-reflective. Can you apply yourself better? His thirst for knowledge is far greater than any of the rest of us. Is your thirst for knowledge great? And listen, I'm not talking about thirst for knowledge just everywhere, taking on any and every bit of information you can find. I mean, that's great if you can do that. You may end up on Jeopardy. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But at least, I mean, if you have a field of interest, if you have a career path you're interested in, if you have some goals that you want to accomplish, you know, you should have a thirst for knowledge in your field of interest. And so that's something that we can look at Michael Jackson and really admire him for. Not only was he a hard worker, he had a thirst for knowledge. He was curious, and he asked why. How many of us be self-reflective? Don't think about everybody else. When we had these morning workouts are about us, and about yourself, and about getting yourself in the right mindset. Think about yourself. Do you ask why enough, or do you just take what's given to you? Do you investigate and learn and try to unfold what you're being told, or do you just take what's given to you? See, the reason why I speak in somewhat of a general tone and motivating people is because that, you know, I know that a lot of what I have to say is opinion, right? So I'm not going to pass anything off on you guys as absolute fact. Like, hey, you guys know that if you stand on one leg and you put your arm in the air, that you're going to be less stressed. No, you might just end up with a leg cramp and a bruised hip. I'm not passing off nothing nothing that's as something that you guys have to just digest and walk and internalize completely and do it the way Dennis does. What I'm encouraging you guys to do is find your own ways. And no, Dwight, I don't think it's innate. I don't think it's innate. I think that it says the question was, how do you teach people to have thirst? Is it innate? The funny thing is, at some point, I think it is innate. I think when we're children, it's innate, right? When we're able to dream and hope, and the sky's the limit, and we believe that the world is our oyster, I think that the thirst is innate. I think that over time, life has a way of honestly wearing us down, and we don't do a good job protecting ourselves and put a cloak of protection on ourselves to handle the grind. Like I said yesterday, the road won't be easy. So over time, there are certain things that wear us down, but that's why it's important, Dwight, to surround yourself around motivators, surround yourself around positive influence, to put things in front of you that can trigger the thirst. If you're sitting stagnant, if you're just sitting still and your mind isn't present on identifying your thirst or trying to figure out the area in which you want to go, then your thirst can't be fed in any way. So Dwight, I think that if somebody's, I guess it's a scale. I think that when I first started doing this, let me use myself for example. When I first started doing this, it was just a thought. I just started with this just in, and that was a year ago. That was in the very end of 2015, at the beginning of 2016. And as I dove more and more and more into the project, well, my thirst began to grow. And so I think that's how it is with people. Some people have just massive thirst and they've always had it. since they were younger, but maybe nothing has severely interrupted it. And so I empathize and I sympathize with people because I understand how life works. Um, in my case, I was moving in a pretty good trajectory, at least I thought anyway. And, I ruptured my Achilles and I couldn't walk for like almost 6 months when it was all said and done. And so it was very discouraging, And so during that time, I was just kind of down at times. I was somewhat depressed at times just from not being able to get up and walk and move around. I was like just in bed all the time. And that's something minor with today's medicine. I had surgery the next day and I just had to be out for 6 months. But sometimes other life events happen, and I think it can knock people off their block and they fall into a pit. And so sometimes it's hard to gain that thirst back. But if we do a lot of the things that we've been talking about, getting up in the morning a little earlier, surrounding yourself around positive people, doing healthy things, exercising, eating good, talking to people, sharing your dreams with people. These are all things I've talked about before. I believe that your thirst can be ignited, and you got to continue to look and search for that ignition. And so that's what I think it is. I think the way you teach people to have thirst is to encourage them to chase what's already there, and they gotta. I believe they gotta look within themselves, and that the thirst is it's already there. It just needs to be paid a little bit more attention to. Back to Michael, real quick. He asked why, and he logged every detail. Good morning, Sissy. And he logged every detail. Be a note taker. Write checklists. Pay attention. You'd be surprised at how much just paying attention and asking questions can get you ahead. What I love about celebrating Black History Month is that we're going to look into and celebrate some pretty dynamic people. Some people that have exercised pretty high levels of self-accountability. And that's powerful, because that's really what I want to promote in each and every one of us, is to be your best self. And a lot of times I think that, exactly, Dwight. And a lot of times I think that, the people that we look at, in history and the events that happen in history are moments of greatness, and that's why they are memorialized in time. But be driven by that, be motivated by that, and learn from their drive and the things that they did that made them great. Yeah, okay, so Carl shared his idea. He said, in addition to daily posts, I'm going to buy and read MLK's last book, Where Do We Go From Here? He said it's the last book he wrote and about how to continue the legacy after he dies. That's excellent, man. I think that's probably a book we all need to go ahead and pick up. Where do we go from here? So Carl's he's gonna do posts on a regular basis throughout the month. I'm gonna be sharing some of those posts on This Just In. And so if you guys are gonna be doing stuff and you want to just share some stuff on This Just In, then you feel free to do that. But back to Michael's greatness. He logged every detail to the point where Jermaine thought, he said, I'm sure he had in his head a built-in recording chip for data, facts, figures, lyrics, and dance moves. I think that, that's just, it's a cute way to end the quote. But honestly, man, when you think, you ever meet someone who just has an excellent memory? My brother has a pretty good memory. My mom has a good memory. And you're like, how do you store all that information in your head? How do you do that? I always am pretty amazed with people who can just really remember things and hold on to data and figures just right off the top of their heads like that. But I don't think it happens by accident. I think they're probably very diligent people. They probably do a lot of reading. And just like with Michael, writing, man, don't get away from writing, guys. If you see something, and writing can be as simple as carrying a case of sticky notes in your car, and you might see something while you're driving down the road, and you're like, you know what, I need to go ahead and write that down. That triggered something for me. So it's listen, learn, and take some things in. So my first we started kind of simple today. Black History Month. I wanted to share some quotes, so that's what I'll be doing throughout the month. And if you guys have other things you want to do, please share. There are some other things I wanted to talk about today, also, but I'm gonna tailor this one due to time. But another moment that I had, and I was excited about, and it was a moment of realization, is, this is Black History Month, and it's truly Black history now that the first Black president has came and went. And I'm just so proud of Barack Obama's legacy, and I'm so proud it's going to be now it's enshrined in Black History Month, right? And it's funny, some of us, we talk about kind of getting tired of hearing about the same folks during Black history. You hear about Malcolm and Martin and Huey and Rosa and Harriet and Frederick, and you hear about all the same people all the time during Black History Month. But I don't think that's a mistake. I think it's for a reason, man. Those folks have given us their all, and every year, every month, we should celebrate. But I'm so happy we could add Barack Obama to that bunch, man. What a brilliant mind. What a great example. The best thing we have at our fingertips is Barack Obama was in office during the tech era, so we can look up some of his readings, look up some of his speeches. If I dig through here, one of these drawers over here, I have Barack Obama's first inauguration speech, his acceptance speech, and I have the newspapers from the first day he was elected. From when he was first elected. It's that's amazing history, guys, and we should be extremely proud of that. Don't forget that history. So I got some other things I want to talk about later this week, and I guess as the week gets stressful, I have some other messages I want to share with you guys. I did want to talk about being versatile, and I will expand that theme throughout the month and talking about the versatility and Black heroes that we have in the U.S. Over our history. Speaking of Black heroes, side note, if you guys look at this just then, there was a teacher, elementary school teacher, man. That guy is my hero. And he does like a little special handshake with all the kids in the morning. And I think that was just powerful. We need more men like him. I think his name was Mr. White, ironically. But that's what his name was. I can't make this stuff up. But he was the man. He was a brother. He was the man. Check him out. So yeah, we're gonna talk about some diversity and being versatile this month, and appreciating the diversity within our own, within our race. And I know some of y'all might look at me with some of a side eye, but we'll talk about some Clarence Thomas. We'll talk about some Condoleezza Rice. We'll talk about maybe even talk about a little bit of Omarosa and the path she carved out for herself. Yeah, so that's. And so there are some other things, some other themes I'll share for Friday, and around ignoring the distractions and staying focused on your passion and your goals. Oh man, I gotta stop doing these in here because I got so many good points up here I want to share with you guys. But listen, guys. Yesterday, the question was, "Is common sense common?" I didn't have a question of the day today, but I seen that there. I wonder if any of you guys figured it out. Let me tell you how I will respond to that question. I would like to hope and think that common sense is common, but it's not. And here's what I think. I think your sense, your sense is what you have, and I think as you recognize that your sense is impactful, is positive, is a healthy way of moving in the world, I think you share that. And then hopefully it will become more common. And so, of course, you look both ways free across the street, right, guys? So there are some things that are still, just standard, right? Doing to others as you have them doing to you. Treat others with respect. Some good old common courtesy and respect, as Mr. Gaines would say. So yeah, some things should just still and always be common. Look, guys, go out there, have a great day. It's Wednesday. We're almost there. You're almost there. Get it done. I still need writers. If anybody wants to blog, you guys have a good one. God bless. Celebrate Black History Month. Educate the children. That's what it's about. And y'all have a good one. Later. Deuces.